Welcome, everyone. You are staring at Frankenstein and a gargantuan poster that is hanging in the horror hallway. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. See what I did there? I am feeling under the weather. That's what I'm trying to say. So I feel like Frankenstein. It's kind of a little joke I made. Me being Frankenstein and the big poster. I think you put two and two together. It's the Daily Woo from the horror hallway. The horror hallway. The hallway that leads to my room and to the room of Tyler Evans, rock journalists. This is not Tyler Evans, rock journalist. Tyler Evans, rock journalist, is residing in that room at the end of the horror hallway, in our home where we come home and sleep well. In our home where we come home and sleep well. Now, please do not be discouraged by the amount of electricity that you guys will probably chime in and say, Adam, it would be much more inexpensive for your California utilities if you actually turn the lights off. Why are there so many lights on? Why are there so many lights on in here? Normally, Tyler can attest to this, we do not leave the lights on very often. The reason I turn the lights on is so that those watching this vlog can actually see very well, because the more light, the better you can see. So you could actually see what is actually around the house, like the Haunted Mansion emblem here, and the coat rack, and the Pee-wee's Big Adventure poster that is dangling over the fireplace, and the clock, and the table, and the furniture, and the fridge, and the Mountain Dew, and the Matterhorn poster, and the microwave, and of course the horror hallway, which we showed earlier, and the tiki guy with the mustache, and the monorail that actually is festooning the top of the cabinets, and those knives and those cookies, and that tiki goddess above the gas stove. All of this can be seen better in the light. Now, once the vlog is done, I will be turning these lights off, and I will be relaxing my sickened eyes. I went to San Diego over the weekend, stayed in a hotel, and I must say the hotel air conditioner really threw me for a loop, kind of like ignited some sort of phlegm in my throat and in my chest regions. I'm trying to battle it. After I film this vlog, I'm actually not even going to leave my facilities area today. Facilities could mean the bathroom, which I probably will not leave that either. But I meant the homestead. I am not even going to go out and do anything today other than doing some research online and taking some naps. That's all I'm going to do today. I'm going to festoon my nether regions with NyQuil. That is my plan. I want to drink a lot of NyQuil today, and I want to rest. But I also, those that follow me on Periscope, I will be doing a Periscope later, probably from this couch. I will be laying on this couch, and I want to do a Q&A. I've not done a question and answer in quite some time on Periscope. So later today, I'm making the announcement now. Add me on Periscope. AdamTheWoo on Periscope. Man, I'm like, my whole internal combustion area is feeling weird. My chest is like feeling strange. My stomach is gurgling like I haven't eaten in a week. But I have eaten. I ate last night. My whole body feels weird, this whole sickness thing. I'm not super sick. I would say normally on a scale of 1 to 10, when I get sick, it's usually a 9 or a 10. I'm only about a 5, so I'm really not sick as I normally am. So thankfully, knock on wood, I'm actually knocking on wood right now at the wall, and you're actually perched upon this. So I was knocking on this. Knock on wood, I actually do not get any sicker. So send your do not get sick blessings and karma my way, and your good vibes over to me. So I want to ask a question. What should I do now that Tyler is moving? Should I continue to stay here by myself? Now, I have some good ideas. The lease is good thing is because this lease, I think this lease is not a year-to-year lease. I think I could pretty much leave whenever I want. So that is actually kind of nice. But because I traveled around in my van, slept in my van for so many years, 2, sometimes 3 years, traveled across the country, went to 46 of the 48 continental United States repeatedly. The only states, in case you were asking, I did not go to, South Dakota and North Dakota. For some reason, those eluded me. One thing that's not eluding me, though, is the fact that my nose is getting more congested as this vlog is going on. I'm turning more and more to the voice of a chipmunk. So here's what I would like you guys to chime in about. I have this home that will be, Tyler is going to be leaving soon. And I don't know if I should get another roommate. I don't know if I should move elsewhere, maybe move closer to Los Angeles. Right now I'm down in Orange County. Should I move out of California and go somewhere else? What should I do? A lot of people are going to suggest, move back to Florida. Move back to Florida. You are welcome back at Walt Disney World. Why not move to Florida? I do not want to live in Florida again. That is completely out of the question. I will not be living in Florida again. I lived in Florida for almost 24, 25 years. And it's time for me to get out of Florida, even though I am going back to Walt Disney World to go to Halloween Horror Nights as well, Universal Studios. I will be visiting, but I do not want to live in Florida. The humidity is too much, too many bugs, too much heat, way too much rain. I just kind of want to do a different thing. So I'm siding with staying here in California, and this is what I am thinking. There is a little room at the end of the hallway that Tyler abides in. The dude abides, the Tyler abides in that room at the end of the hallway. So I was thinking that maybe when Tyler leaves, when he goes back to Georgia, I will have a little bit more room and I can start doing a little bit more creative type of things. I was thinking about maybe getting a green screen for the room, setting up an office back there, having a green screen, doing some other types of videos, not only adventure videos, but also going out to places. And then there's certain things that maybe I do not film when I am there, actually giving more of a documentary style, green screen. The possibilities are endless if I had more room to create stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking of maybe doing here at the homestead. Which, did we ever name this house? I think we may have came up with a name. We need a name. The Woo compound, I think someone said the Woo compound once a long time ago. So that's basically what I have had on my mind recently, other than planning this trip to Walt Disney World. So should I get a roommate? Should I just buck up, camper, and pay the rent all one chunk without roommates? Should I move? Should I sell my stuff again and travel around some more? Should I take this stuff and move to a smaller place, a tinier place? Or do I just say, heck it, hashtag heck it, and just stay here, start filming more? By the way, I've also been thinking, now I know you guys are thinking, well, you're going to Walt Disney World. And another thing too, a lot of people have been saying, you go to Disney too much, you go to Universal too much, you go to the theme parks too much. And I kind of agree with you on that. I have to agree that I do go to theme parks a lot. And the reason I do that is because I was not allowed to go to Walt Disney World for so long that when I came to California and I had Disneyland basically in my own backyard, I started to realize how blessed I was and how I wanted to inundate myself with Disney. But I have decided that after the holidays, probably after November-ish, I'm not really going to be going to Disney as much. And if I do, I'm not going to be posting about it and doing vlogs and main channel videos as much from Disney as I normally have been. So, for example, after I do the Walt Disney trip, you are going to see a heck of a lot of Walt Disney footage. I'm going to be filming stuff at Epcot, MGM Studios, some weird stuff at the resorts, things like that I mentioned on social media. But after that, after I return home and I complete those videos, I am going to be harnessing all of my energy on a few abandoned places. But other than the abandoned and Disney stuff, I'm going to be hunkering down, whatever the word is, on movie locations. I have a lot of movie locations in mind. Now, the fact that I'm going to probably be paying more for rent, I need some more to drink. The fact that I'm going to be paying more for rent is probably going to hinder me a little bit from these movie locations. So a lot of people have been suggesting the Patreon thing. Now, I do not know how I feel about the Patreon. In fact, I did a vlog a month ago saying I was not going to do Patreon, but I keep getting emails and comments constantly saying, I would like to help fuel the woo through Patreon. Now, these movie locations that I'm planning on doing at the end of the year into next year are pretty insane. A lot of them have to do with the fact that I would fly to one city, film those spots, and in the same movie, they went to other areas of the country. So I'd be flying spot to spot to spot, getting hotels, getting a rental car. So the price might be a little high. So here's my question. Is Patreon something that I should do? And if it is something that I do, so now before I was 99.999% completely against Patreon. Now I'm only 10% for Patreon. So I'm about 90% against Patreon. So slowly, through your emails and comments, I'm starting to actually understand how the Patreon thing works. So those who are familiar with Patreon, please leave some comments. I'd like to know what you say. Or we can talk about it in the Q&A that I will be doing on the couch here in a few hours after I wake up from my NyQuil-induced coma. Look at this, by the way. I got this. This is a shirt that I got in San Diego for $5 at a gift shop. Now, the reason I set you down is because I wanted to drink some water. You could probably hear the congestion and the coughing in my throat. So, Patreon, is it a good idea? The thing I'm kind of like I kind of wish that Patreon had was a cutoff point. Like, I would be more adept and more acceptable of the Patreon thing if there was a $5 per person cutoff. Like, let's say you wanted to help donate and fuel the woo. If you could just do $5 a month. So maybe if I do, it's a big if. I have not decided if I am doing it, but if I do it, it's a huge if in your face there. If I decide to do the Patreon, I think I'm going to put some big disclaimer saying, please only fuel $5 a month per person. That way it's not taking a lot out of someone's wallet, out of their time, out of their bank account. So it would help fuel adventures me to go to these filming locations, which I have probably 10, 15 epic filming locations. I probably have 100 filming locations that are in Los Angeles and within a 4 or 5 hour drive. The filming locations I am talking about that the Patreon would help would actually be epic filming locations that require probably 4 or 5 days worth of travel, whether by car or by plane, to go to, or maybe even by sea. Don't want to give any spoilers, but those would be the ones that the help could definitely be utilized. And I must say, all of these movie locations that I think are going to be epic and travel worthy, that most people would not do, have never been done. No one has done these movie locations on the scale that I am planning on doing it. So that is what I want to know. Should I do the Patreon? Should I start a Patreon? How should I go about doing Patreon? And is there a way I could just put up some disclaimer, something saying, please do not donate more than $5 a month per person. That would give me enough per month to at least go and film one epic, massive road trip journey a month to these epic filming locations, and still do some abandoned stuff around LA, still do movie stuff around LA. Like I was saying, after this Walt Disney World trip, I will be toning down the Disney stuff and the theme park stuff, especially the Disney stuff, will be taking a step downward. So those who have been chiming in about, we want you to go do other stuff than Disney, is on the horizon. You will have to deal with Disney a little bit more because I am going to Walt Disney World. Once I get back from there and those videos are edited, there will be other stuff on the horizons. Movie locations out the wazoo. I don't know if there was a movie called Out the Wazoo, but if there was, I would do the movie location of that. And here's another thing. I shouldn't be talking this much, really, as being as ill as I am. The other thing is this. Patreon usually, this is how it works. You go on your page and you type in what you want to do. Like, let's say I want to go to Oklahoma City. Adam's going to Oklahoma City. This is how much he needs. You can help out, etc., etc. With the movie locations, some of these are so well thought out in my mind that I don't want to give away spoilers. Like, I don't want to say I'm going to this movie location. I'm going to this spot, to this spot. This is what it entails. This is how much travel time and how much money it takes to get to point A to point B, to the other side of the country, to point C, D, E, F. Because I'm afraid that if I put it out there, someone else will steal my ideas. So does Patreon work in a way where I can just say, This is the $5 minimum. Please, if you want to help donate, I assure you that I will go do this. And then maybe the work in the past that I have done, continue with the work in the future that I have done. Maybe that is enough to propel the Patreons. Would that be enough? Or is it a good idea to actually post exactly what I'm going to be doing in very scared hopes that no one steals my ideas and does them before I can get there? Like maybe somebody locally that lives on the other side of the country, before I can fly out there and film it, maybe some local YouTuber would be like, oh, I saw Adam's idea, and they would go ahead and film it. I don't think anybody would do that, but you never know. This is the internet, and the internet is definitely full of charlatans and hullabalooists, if that is a word. So all your opinions, please leave them down below. I'll read them later after I wake up from the NyQuil. As soon as I drink this, I'm going to go drink a couple gulps of NyQuil. I'm going to pass out, and I will be answering your questions that you leave down below through the comments. I've been trying to reply to a lot more YouTube comments lately, so I'm replying to your opinions about these subject matters. Roommate versus non-roommate. Should I move? Should I stay, or should I go, to use a class reference? And what should I do with the little room at the end of the hallway? Should I turn it into a studio? Should I turn it into an office? Should I step up the video game and start doing other types of videos? And what do you think about this Patreon thing for me to go travel across the U.S. and maybe even the world? I do have a passport to film epic movie locations. I want to be the movie location guy. I want to step it up. I want to be the movie world traveler. I love movies. I love 80s movies especially. I want to document every 80s movie that holds a special place in my heart. I want to take that on the road and show it to the world what the spots look like now, and embrace those memories and present it to you guys. I think I've talked too much. Check down below for my t-shirts at AdamTheWoo.spreadshirt.com. I look forward to reading your comments, and I look forward to the question and answer session we're going to have as I lay on this couch in a few hours later on this afternoon. Add me on Periscope, AdamTheWoo on Periscope, and I'll see you later, and I'll see you later t-shirt on Periscope. I love you guys.